Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your time today, coming along to our Zoom webinar session for our new starters, where we get to give you lots of information ahead of your child's joining of our school in September and ahead of the transition days later this week. My name is Mr. Kelly, Max, please. I'm the head teacher of LXY School and delighted to welcome you here today. And I'm joined by Mr. Aston, who is our head of school, and by Mrs. Knight, who is going to be your child's class teacher. So hello to Craig and Kirsty as well. We introduced these webinar meetings a couple of years ago during the height of the pandemic. But actually they're one of the positive things that have come out of COVID-19. We found that the webinar sessions are a really convenient way to meet with everybody, to share information, convey key messages, and we wanted to do that ahead of the transition days, the induction days rather, that your children will be doing starting with us tomorrow. We're going to use this meeting to introduce you to some key faces that you and your children will meet, and we're going to pass on some useful information too. But please don't think that you have to remember all of this information. We'll help you out. We like to do that at LXY and be as helpful as we can. We'll make a recording of this webinar and we will post it on the school website later on today, so that if you need to rewatch it to remind yourself of some key information, you'll be able to do that. In fact, all of the new starter pack information that we posted out to you sort of TT week time, all of those letters and forms and leaflets and posters and things, all of that information is available on our school website for you to access in electronic form. If you log into our homepage, which is laxy.sch.im, and from the homepage, choose Our School tab, scroll down to the admissions page, and on the admissions page, there's a tab called Joining Our School in the Reception Year. And if you click into there, that's where you'll find all of the information. You can also find from that page a link to our school prospectus. You should have had a hard copy posted out to you, but if you want to see it in electronic form and flick it up on your phone or your laptop computer or your iPad, you'll be able to do that from that page as well. We've also got a couple of videos on that page, which we call virtual tours, where we have filmed parts of the school and different teachers. Feel free to watch those videos, and particularly with your children, because it starts to familiarize them and you with the school, with the building, with some of the faces that you're going to meet as you join the LXY School community. But you'll notice that we haven't got a video for 2022 yet. It's been filmed, it's in post-production, and as soon as it's finalized and finished, we'll post that up on the website too, so that you've got a special video just for your year group. If you watch previous ones, some of the staff and some of the teachers that are referenced don't quite line up with what you will be experiencing and what your children will be experiencing. So we have got a video on its way to you, and as soon as it's ready, we'll let you know, and we'll send out an email link to that to you as well. So let me begin by telling you a little bit about how it's all going to work for you from September. On Wednesday, the 7th of September 2022, all of our children currently on roll will be returning to LXY School at the end of their summer holidays. Your children, all of your children, will attend LXY School from that day too. So Wednesday, the 7th of September, that's when you will officially become a member of LXY School. And that's it. It's as simple as that. They're all in from day one. They stay with us all day. They have lunch with us. We don't do half-day transitions at LXY School or slow build-ups to getting the children in. Experience has shown us that in our school, for a school of our size, and we're a relatively small school that can do this easily, experience shows us that long lead-in isn't always helpful it's better in our view and in our experience to start as we mean to go on. It helps to build the routines and the expectations from the get-go, and it just helps us to manage the anxieties of children and perhaps of parents, even if it sounds a little counterintuitive to begin as quickly as that. So you will begin your days by arriving at the gate down by, excuse me one moment, something just flashed up on my screen there, which I wasn't expecting. You'll begin your days down by the gates, down by the outdoor area of the reception classroom, and you'll be shown exactly where this is tomorrow on your visit. And if you're not completely sure, in advance of that, you could have a little look at some of the old videos that we've already got on the website, and you'll see really clearly where that is. It's not a big playground, so it's the bottom playground. You'll spot it, you'll spot where you need to go. And from there, you'll be invited to bring your children in. So on that Wednesday, the 7th of September, that first day, you can come in with your children, you can help them to hand up their coat, you can help to get them settled in. We'll start to settle the children. Mrs. Knight and her team will be organising the children and getting them ready. And when everything feels settled and we've got eyes on the children and the team are confident that the children are okay, Mrs. Knight will invite the parents to a quiet part of the school building, and she'll just have an informal chat with you and go through some key information and answer any questions that you might have. We found that doing the face-to-face meeting on the very first day back is the best time to do that, because it feels fresh, it feels relevant, and it's the here and now, it's the moment that the children are actually in. And after that, you can leave, and then you can enjoy your freedom and go back to the same place that you dropped your children off at the end of the school day at 3:20. The following day, Thursday, the 8th of September, and subsequent days, you do it all over again. You drop your children off at that place. The difference is that from that Thursday, we don't encourage parents to come into the school. You'll see for yourselves on that first day, on Wednesday the 7th, and perhaps even tomorrow and later this week on the transition days, just how busy the classroom space gets when you've got 20 children plus 20 sets of parents, plus the adults who work in the school all in that space. It can feel quite overwhelming and chaotic. And if we're trying to manage anxieties for our young children and keep them calm, keep them happy, we just need to minimize the amount of adults who are in the room. We sometimes feel as well that if children are upset or tearful, which young children can be when they have to say goodbye to mums and dads, it might feel counterintuitive, parents, to step away. But by stepping away and leaving our teachers, our experienced staff, to calm children down, it's just easier to do that if they haven't got mum or dad in line of sight. So we do ask you to from that Thursday, to not come into school. If there's a problem, we would ring you, we'd get in touch with you. And if your child goes in upset and we manage to settle them down, we'll send a text message or an email later that morning just to reassure you and let you know that everything's okay. Now, LXY School is a little bit different. This is another piece of information that's worth knowing. To most of the other schools in the Isle of Man, we're part of a federation with Doon School up the road, which means that we work closely with Doon and we collaborate and we connect with them. I'm in overall charge of both of those schools, which is a slightly bigger job, I guess, than that of a standard head teacher, just because I'm running two separate schools. So you'll hear me refer to myself as the executive head teacher, just to reflect that additional responsibility. But on a practical level, it means that much of the operational day-to-day management of the school is something that I delegate to senior teachers on each site to keep those sites ticking over. These are my heads of school, and at LXY, this person is Mr. Aston. Mr. Aston is the senior teacher you are likely to see and deal with more than me, just because he's based at LXY 100% of the time, whereas I divide my time between the two schools. So I'd like to take this moment just to introduce you all formally to Mr. Aston, our head of school. And I'll invite Mr. Aston just to say a few words. So over to you, Mr. Aston.
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Can you hear me okay, Mr. Kelly? Oh, good man. Perfect. Okay, well, welcome everyone to LXY School. I can see some familiar names in the chat box there and in the participants. So I do know quite a few of you already, which is great. But for those of you that I've not met before, I'm Mr. Aston. And as Mr. Kelly said, I'm the head of school at LXY. So yeah, you will see me quite often when you come to drop off. And hopefully I'll catch up with you all on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So hopefully by now you should have all received a comprehensive welcome offer from us, including a new parent handbook, which has lots of useful information in, as well as a letter from your teachers and a poster with various activities and skills that you can work with your children to ensure they're ready for a September start. We've also, as Mr. Kelly said, got a film ready to go out for you guys. And again, it's just a virtual tour, again, to familiarise yourself with the school so you'll know where to drop them off in the morning, and also so that your children can see who their teacher's going to be next year. And it will really put them at ease when they start in September. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll get that sent out to you as soon as we have it. Okay, so if there is anything that you haven't received so far, please just give us a shout and we'll get something sent out to you as soon as possible. One of the things that I was going to talk to you a little bit about was our high visibility on the internet, both our school website and we also have the use of Facebook and Twitter. So on our school website, you will find a variety of policies, forms, procedures, and you can access them at any time that you want. But then we've also used social media an awful lot over the last couple of years. And I run something here called the Parent Forum Group, which is an opportunity for parents to share any feedback and to work together with the school, which is something we take pride in. And one of the things that have come out of that is how much they enjoy going on to Facebook or Twitter during the school day, just to have a little look at some of the activities that the children have been up to. So if you haven't already checked our Facebook page out, please do, and it will give you a great insight to the school and a genuine flavour of the kind of things that we get up to in our fab community. So that's on Facebook and on Twitter as well, if you don't use that. Okay, we've also this year included consent forms in our introduction pack. So if possible, please get that signed and returned as soon as possible. There's no need to wait until September. As soon as you get a chance, get that back into us. And it just means that when your children start in September, one of the things that I'll make sure I'll do is put some photos of the children accessing their classroom on the first day. And it's just a nice way for you to check in and see that your child has settled in and they're smiling, and it'll help put you guys at ease, I'm hoping anyway. So yeah, so make sure you get those forms filled in, and then that first few days when the children start, at least you can check in and see what they've been up to. Okay, that's it from me. Lovely seeing you all, and I'll hand back over to Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Aston. I'd now like to introduce people to Mrs. Knight, who will be your child's class teacher from September. So Mrs. Knight, over to you. Hello.
Hi there. Hi, so welcome to the school. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all tomorrow and Thursday, and I hope your children are really looking forward to it too, and then getting ready for September. So like Mr. Kelly said, there'll definitely be time tomorrow for a little chat, or in September when we have that more detailed chat really. But if there's anything you want to ask or any questions, please just ask away. So yes, I'm Kirsty Knight, and I'm going to be the new reception teacher. This is something I'm really, really excited about. I don't know, a few of you might know me already, but I've only been here about just over a year on the island. Previous to that, majority of my career has been in reception. So I'm really, really looking forward to going back down to early years. There'll also be the nursery nurse, Miss Smith, who's massively experienced in reception. I think she's one of the most experienced nursery nurses we have on the island. And she's really excited to meet you all and work with your children too. And I'm excited to work with her as well. So just a tiny little bit of background. Back in my previous school, I was the early age manager for a number of years. And like I say, the majority of the time I was in reception, but I also did a couple of years in nursery as well. So I really understand that preschool element of where they're coming from, that feeds into obviously your reception year. And then since coming to LXY School, I've been in Key Stage 1 for the last year and nearly a half. So I've also got a really good insight of where they go to as well. So like I say, really looking forward to meeting you all tomorrow on our transition days. You've got all the information through, hopefully, like Mr. Aston said. I do just have a little bit of information on what t-shirt, what colour t-shirt your child will need for PE. So I have that tomorrow. So if I don't give it to you, please do remind me. I've got the slips for all the children. So just like we've covered, just coming through that bottom gate on the bottom playground, and just come in with them, have a little look around the provision, just get them settled, and then you take a little bit of time, just a couple of hours, leave them with us, let them get to know me, to know Miss Smith, to know the other adults, and more importantly, it's nice for them to, they can start making their little friendships, which will be lovely because they get to meet all their new classmates. So just on the pack that you got, I'll just go through just a couple of like tips and hints really. You will have received the reception newsletter. Just a couple of extra points that I'm not sure are covered on there or not, but it's labelling is a huge thing. You would be surprised how many things go missing, not just in reception, throughout the whole of your child's schooling really. Things just seem to disappear. So if we can just ask you to just label absolutely everything you possibly can, the iron-on ones or the stick-on ones, whichever's easiest for you, a permanent marker, just something just so we know, because, you know, we do get changed for PE and things like that. So they are taking their uniform off, and obviously they're only little, they don't put them all back in the bag and things, so things do go wandering. If we could just ask as well, we've mentioned spare clothes. You know, that's any kind of, if they have a toileting accident, but generally just things that we do in reception. You know, it's very multi-sensory. We do a lot of what people would see as messy play, lots of sand, water, kind of sensory activities, and it can be a little bit messy, so they can get the clothes a bit wet. So spare pairs of clothes, spare pair of underwear would be fantastic. And if you could include a plastic bag as well to put any dirty clothes in, if you could put that in their bag as well. Water bottles, they have access to the water bottles all through the day. They're just on the side. Again, if you could label these, just so, because obviously some children do have the same ones, so if you could just make sure they're labelled too. And book bags, which your reading books will generally go in. I mean, we'll talk a lot more about that in the September chat, but if your book bags, if you're buying the book bags for school, if you could maybe pop a keyring on or something that's personal to your child, because obviously they do look the same, so it just would help your child to find it a little bit easier. And then just snacks. So we know children this age, they eat little and often, and we know they get hungry and they're so busy that they probably, you know, they need a mid-morning snack, and sometimes maybe need a mid-afternoon snack. That's absolutely fine. So if you could just put a snack in their book bag again, so it's easily accessible, they can just grab it when they need it, and there will be time for them to have that throughout the day. And then just generally, just little things to kind of make sure they're school ready, little things you can be doing over summer, just promoting independence really, maybe practicing getting changed, practicing getting dressed and undressed, like any toileting needs that they have. Make sure they can wash their hands independently, just general hygiene really. Probably looking at maybe like fastening coats and things, you know, because obviously we've got quite a few children, and these, you know, we have got a good number of adults down there, and we are there to help them. We will help them. We'll never see your child struggle, but it will just help if they could have a little go themselves. I think that's probably everything from me. So like I say, Mr. Kelly's touched on a lot of things anyway, but if there is anything, any queries, anything you want to ask, even if it just seems something so little, please do ask. The door is always open. We know it's a big transition for your children. It's also a big transition for you, and we totally understand that. So yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you. Back to Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Kirsty. We have received, just on the theme there of questions that people have, we've received a couple of questions via email ahead of the webinar session today. I think a lot of these questions and things that we need to go through can probably wait until September when we have that conversation face to face. But there are just a couple of things that I think are worth covering off. So perhaps, Craig, you might just be able to help me out here with some of the answers to this. We've had a question asking about uniform and where that is available from. Do you want to just come in on that for me, Mr. Aston?
Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Kelly. Yeah, no, all uniform is available from Promenade T-shirts, but as Mrs. Knight was saying then, it's really important, and I want to emphasize how important it is to label any uniform that your child brings in. So yeah, Promenade T-shirt is where you can buy all the uniform, and when it comes to school shoes, it's kind of down to you really, Clark's, Marks and Spencer's, or online. But I'd just like to use this opportunity to say we do really encourage you to wear school shoes, not trainers. So if you can purchase black school shoes, that'd be perfect as well. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, thank you. Promenade T-shirts are really good. That's where you can get the logoed tops from. In terms of like trousers and skirts and polo shirts and things like that, you can sometimes find cheaper options, mums and dads, either online. I know Marks and Spencer, and sometimes Tesco as well, throughout August, has some, cheaper options available for people. So that's also worth bearing in mind. As a follow-up to that, Mr. Aston, I've been asked whether the children will be given a bag to put their reading books in and things like that, a book bag.
Yeah,
on that?
Yeah, we will do. Yeah, we've ordered in a book bag for every pupil in reception. So when you come in September, we'll make sure that everyone's issued a brand new book bag to take home with you that day.
Fab, thanks, Mr. Aston. And that's a gift from LXY School to you, mums and dads and boys and girls, just to welcome you into the school. So there won't be a charge for that. And I think the last question that we'll look at now, Mr. Aston, is about school lunches. Do I need to let school know about packed lunches, school dinners? Any information will be gratefully received.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, if you could just drop LXY Inquiries an email just to say whether or not there'll be school dinners or packed lunch, and then Miss Webb can update the list in terms of what your child will be having. Don't worry about paying for it now or anything like that. Miss Webb will make sure there's a letter sent home in terms of how you can pay for that, because we use something called Parent Pay. But you don't need to know about that now. All you need to do is let us know that your child's going to be school dinners or packed lunch, but even over the summer holidays. That'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Aston. Brilliant. I think we'll draw a line under the questions at this stage. I'm sure mums and dads will develop more questions over the summer, which you can put to us in the information talks that we hold in September. If there is anything pressing or anything urgent that we haven't covered off and can't wait till September, you've got an opportunity to ask any of the faces that you see on the screen here today. You can ask us tomorrow when you see us, or you can drop us an email at laxyinquiries.sch.im, and we'll do our best to get an answer to you just as soon as we can. I think that's probably it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for your attendance this afternoon. We really appreciate it. If you've not yet had a chance, then please do look at our social medias, at our websites. There's lots of photographs on there which you can look at, and look at them with your child so that you begin to familiarise them with the school, with the buildings, the environment, and with some of the faces that they're going to start to see. That introduction to our school can start at home through the technology that we have on offer. I'm really looking forward to welcoming you all into our lovely LXY School community. We are a friendly bunch. As I've said, don't hesitate to get in touch or to speak to us. We much prefer in our school a two-way conversation at all times with our parents and prospective parents. My thanks to my team, to Mr. Aston, to Mrs. Knight, for joining us on this webinar. It has been recorded, and I will make sure that this webinar is placed on the school website later on today, just in case you need to re-watch it for a piece of key information, or in case you know somebody who couldn't make it for the live broadcast. You can give them a nudge and they can perhaps sit down later tonight and watch it at a time convenient to them ahead of tomorrow's induction session. So that is it. Take care, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon indeed, later this week. So take care, see you soon. Bye.